Fighting games are getting good rollback netcode. Oh boy.
Yes,
boy.
fighting games are getting revived to be the best played game on PC. The best played fighting game on PC.
Yeah, just out of fucking nowhere, this game that's 18 years old.
Something
My
like
goodness, it's old enough to vote.
Oh yeah.
that. And it voted for Kanye.
Oh no. Oh man, and it'd just be too fitting with Guilty Gear being a fucking series where every character is a music reference.
Yeah.
Guilty Gear XX accent core slash hashtag reload plus R.
The hashtag is the slash.
Fuck. That's quite a title, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quite a mouthful.
The Steam listing alone just says Guilty Gear XX accent core plus R, which is still a mouthful, and they fucking shortened it.
Yeah. There's also a weird distinction to be made, because the thing with sometimes Steam and other places as well shorten it to A core, but the reason why people shorten it to A core is because that's actually not an A, that's a lambda, I think. Was it alpha? I forget. Whatever. It's a triangle. It's not actually an A.
Oh. Okay, silly title aside, after multiple re-releases, Accent Core plus R is pretty well the final version of Guilty Gear XX, refined down to making everything, squeaky clean, and they finally fucking made Cliff and Justice tournament viable, so they aren't just crazy, stupid boss characters like they were in the first couple versions.
Yeah.
And just about everything is nice and refined properly, to the point that no one in that game is bad. Which, how many fighting games can you say that for?
Well, I feel like I can say that about a couple of games. That the distinction to be made is how many fighting games you can say that for that you actually find fun. Because like karate has to have perfect balance because it literally only has one character. So, or Kung Fu.
If we want to count Street Fighter 1.
Yeah, Street Fighter 1 as well. Like, there's a couple
where you can only choose from one character.
And the recolor, yeah.
Yeah.
But taking those into account, there are a good couple of games where every character is viable. And even outside of those, there's a couple, but not as many. But you won't necessarily have as much fun. At least in the ones where it's literally one character.
Yeah. I mean, the Guilty Gear XX, tier lists, which I don't... tier lists are something that inevitably change from player to player, but the tier lists look like they're just they're not at the level where everyone's on the same tier, but when the lowest tier is B, that's usually a good sign.
Yeah. I mean, the tier lists overall, I didn't look at any of them, but I've got to assume the tier lists go something like normal characters, gold, shadow.
The gold and shadow characters do not count.
No, they don't. It's the thing is, it's some of the EX variants. I don't get why they were banned from tournament, because if it's some damage tweaking, I think they could work. Then again, there are the outliers of Eno and Chip, who shall not ever appear in their EX variant. And then there's Shadow and Gold, which is just straight up broken.
Well, just straight up the cheat variations.
Yeah.
Pink, did you get to play around with any of the alternate variations of some of the characters?
I've not done any alternate variations. No.
Okay. In order to unlock everyone's alternate variations, you just got to beat all the missions in mission mode, which if you set the AI to easiest is dirt easy.
All right.
Because the AI just kind of sits there and every now and then jabs, but that's it.
I actually had a hard time getting the 15-hit combo one, because I play Johnny. And Johnny don't do that shit unless you get him real good. I had to switch over to Chip. Yeah.
Some of those missions are pretty hard for some characters. Yeah.
So the way
Yeah,
out, the
there's
way
one
out.
that's like,
Yeah.
oh, you need to kill Eno, but she only takes damage when she's in the air. And I was like, all right, Potemkin it is.
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember how I cheesed that with Chip. I think with EX Chip, I figured out like a way where you could basically just loop the punch super into itself, and then just kind of disintegrated after a while.
Ha!
But yeah, how I unlocked all of the variants, it was actually not through mission mode because for whatever reason that didn't unlock everything for me. So I had to go through everyone's story at least once, and also
Oh, yeah.
beat a couple of people in survival.
I don't know about survival, but yes, if you want to unlock the slash stages, you have to play through story modes, but fuck that.
I mean, the story modes are more fun than arcade. They usually don't have boss, so that's a plus.
Oh, man, Pink, did you get to play against the boss version of Eno?
Yes,
Oh
he
yeah, I
did.
did.
I watched
Yep.
him. I watched him try.
You watched me try and you watched me fail.
Boy, the first time you see that attack get thrown out, you assume that there's like some kind of way to deal with it. There's not.
It throws
I
out a
mean-
little pattern thing, and I went and ducked under it. I was like, "Oh, that's nifty." It feels like they're kind of melding like old school boss fights with a fighting game. That's nifty. And then that attack pattern goes, and then the rest of the screen is just completely bombarded with hitboxes. And I'm like, "Oh my lordy, what am I supposed to do against this?"
Faultless
The
defense.
answer was lose.
I mean,
Ultimate defense. Yeah, I actually
you-
did that. I think I do that in one of my videos. I don't remember
with
which
Faust.
one.
I remember. I was like, there's no way he figured out how to do faultless defense, and that's the only way to counter that variant of Midnight Carnival, and then you do it.
Yes, but I did it too early, so it ran out, and
Yeah.
I didn't have enough meter to sustain.
Like, you don't understand, Pink. The reason I was doubting you was because it took me until now, I think, or until they added in the rollback beta, for me to actually know what the hell Dead Angle Attacks and Faultless Defense was. Like, I knew what Faultless Defense was, I just didn't know how to use it. And Dead
I
Angle,
had no idea faultless defense could be used to survive the Midnight Carnival.
Yeah, it can. It's basically the only way.
My understanding was you just have to kill Eno faster than she can get the Midnight Carnival out.
You can't. Even on beginner, like she sometimes she just freaking jumps out of your combo in the middle of the combo and goes, "Yo, Midnight Carnival time," and then you die.
Goddamn old video games.
Yeah, so basically the best way to fight against boss from my experience is never use meter, just save all of the meter you can, try and beat her up as best as you can without meter, and then faultless defense. And then that's it.
All right.
Like, as imposing as it is, actually, the she has a pattern in Midnight Carnival where it basically goes through the whole screen. Don't try to jump over it or anything because she will know, and you won't like when she knows. But when she does that, she only fires like a small shotgun burst, basically. So that's very easy to faultless defense through, and you don't waste a lot of meter, unlike with the squiggly lines.
Right.
Huh. All right, let's go ahead and hit the big one. So, Addy.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite character in Guilty Gear XX?
I like Johnny, but I feel like I played too much Exert, and now my playstyle is too much centered around air mistfinders that them not existing yet is really being a pain in the ass. But I picked up a new character that I will not be able to play in any other Guilty Gear for a while.
Oh yeah, that's a problem we all get with XX.
Yeah, because I abandoned Soul. I used to have a Pocket Soul, but I didn't like him too much in this game, so I picked up the better variant, Order Soul.
Order Soul's a lot of fun. I was surprised by that.
Forget Forget your neutral. Give in to Monkey.
Pfft.
Do your shitty ass G charges, old man.
I have a question. Does Order Soul only lose charge when he does the moves?
I think it's also time based, or I'm not sure because sometimes when I do normals, the charge goes down, but I don't know if that's bound to like dust or the button or something. Because there were a couple of times that I did a crouching sweep with dust, and the meter went down, but it was few and far in between. So I'm not sure if that's an actual game mechanic or if it was just a bug, or somehow I did a special without even realizing it. But one of those three is true. But other than yeah.
If it was actually like, oh yeah, Order Soul loses all charge if he gets knocked down, then that would mean that Capcom straight up ripped off Order Soul's design for G.
Yeah, no, they didn't completely rip off Order Soul for G because Order Soul, like Order Soul can basically KOF charge, and that's his special mechanic. So like he can just stand in one place and then charge up his meter, and it doesn't go down for a while. Unless you do specials. And that's actually interestingly balanced in my opinion, because if you charge it to level 3, then you only get to do one special that's at level 3, and then it goes down to level 2. But if you're in level 2, then unless you just went past the line, which is not hard to do, or whatever freaking words. But yeah, if you have a sufficient enough charge in level 2, then you can remain in level 2 for a while.
I don't know anything about what you're talking about. Also, whenever I play Order Soul, I'm just like, all right, do I have a full meter yet? Okay, I don't. Charge.
Yeah, but basically that. If you charge it after nearly every special that you do, then you can keep yourself in level 2 pretty consistently.
Also, Order Soul has the most bullshit super move input in the game.
Ah, yes, the Raging Dragon.
Yeah, that's something. The fact that it's his instant kill as well means that you can't do the first mission with him, really.
Yeah, literally bash your head against the controller and just pray that you got it right. Like,
there's a pretty precise rhythm to it.
Yeah, I think that's my issue because I didn't get down the rhythm. But yeah. Oh wait, I don't remember because I think if you play DG1 Order Soul, which somehow exists by the way, if you play Guilty Gear 1 Order Soul, then you can do the Dragon insta kill.
Right, because all the Guilty Gear 1 variation characters have overpowered instant kills, because that's fucking Guilty Gear 1 in a nutshell.
Yeah. But so they can, or you can do it with GG1 Order Soul, and in that version is close proximity, whereas the animation suggests that it wouldn't be. I'm not sure if the normal Dragon install version 2, I think is what it's called, is close proximity as well then, or if it's actually like a long range move that you need to get the rhythm down for.
Ah man, there's always a lot of advanced stuff there.
Yeah, so basically Pink, just so you know, Order Soul, his instant kill move is a move where you need to press down forward slash, and then punch, kick, slash, heavy slash, back, forward, heavy slash. And I'm forgetting something. I'm forgetting one step. But yeah, you need to input all of that fast. And that's the only way you'll actually hit the move.
Oh, don't worry about forgetting the rest of that, because you lost me at down forward.
Yep.
So yeah, that move exists. I don't know what it is with Order Soul. I just like his specials better. I like Prototype Revolver, I think it's called, or something like that.
You like Soul being even more kind of arrogant and reckless.
But yeah, that's that I enjoy Rocket more than Fafnir for some reason. Like that's basically my pressure game with Order Soul. It's just Gatlings into Rocket into Prototype Revolver, and then repeat.
And that's a pretty simple way of making sure that Order Soul doesn't have perfect pressure, because he just runs out of meter and it's like, oh fuck.
You don't need
Well, I
meter
guess I
for
better
it.
back off.
You don't need meter for it, dude. That's the thing. Like you can break it up for meter, but then they can answer. You don't need meter for that good corner pressure with that shit. You just need good spacing. Which sometimes that's an issue, but still.
Hank, who is your favorite character?
My instant gut reaction would have to be Baiken, but I'm also very fond of Faust.
A man after both our hearts.
Yeah.
Between those two, they both got the kind of goofy thing in common of they both just pull random shit out during their attacks. It occurs to me now.
It's like, I think one of my favorite things I've ever done in a video game is just hiding underneath a blanket and transporting myself outside of the doorway.
Yeah.
It's the greatest.
The doorway through space and time.
Yes.
I love that if you look through the doorway, there's like a galaxy back there.
Right?
In Exert, there's a model viewer that you unlock models for with the fishing minigame that they have in that. So Pink will like that part. But
I was gonna screenshot the fishing menu and put it on the Discord.
yeah. But
I was
so
like, yes,
they made the game for you.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so if you unlock the Faust coming out of the door in the model viewer, then you can actually look at the galaxy that's behind him, and it's like he's coming out of Mars, and the aliens all have Faust heads.
That's perfect.
I think so does the sun. Now that I think about it,
I love it.
Now that I think about it, is Faust really just a playable fucking Mr. Mixie's Pitlick in a fighting game? Or a playable Impossible Man?
Yeah.
Like if they got added to Injustice or Marvel vs. Capcom, they just play like Faust.
Right. That's perfect. Send a note to Marvel and Capcom, tell them to steal that.
Yeah.
I don't think Marvel and Capcom want to work together in the near future, anyway.
Probably not anymore after Infinite.
And if they did work together, I doubt they'd be jumping for the hot character of Impossible Man.
Very true.
I love Faust throwing out Faust's stupid super, where he throws out a million things, and it's like that one near always works out just as poorly for Faust as it does for the opponent, but it's fucking funny. Oh, man. Between those two, who would you say you enjoy the gameplay rhythm for more?
Baiken, honestly. I think I put about the same amount of time into both characters, but I feel like mechanically I'm better with the Baiken, which is actually odd for me to say because I've not even gotten up to Eno in classic arcade mode yet. But I did that with Faust. So I'm probably better overall with Faust, but I've enjoyed the mechanics of Baiken a bit more.
Yeah, she can kind of dictate how the match goes, and the other player just kind of has to listen.
Right.
With Baiken, you want to learn how to do Tatami Gaishi in the air consistently.
The damn floorboard. The floorboards.
Okay.
Sorry, I listened to her freaking voice lines too much for me to not freaking just call it by the Yelp name.
I know, because when you get used to playing Baiken, it's pretty well just constantly Tatami Gaishi. But I mean, yeah, it's a very strong move. It's got a massive hitbox.
Yeah, the thing I think I figured out why Tatami Gaishi is supposed to be a really good move. Because
either it hits for big damage or they block it and they get knocked away.
No, it's better if you do air Tatami Gaishi consistently enough and good enough. It's basically a set play tool. You put it in the air, you fall down, you try and freaking sweep them. If they block the sweep, the Tatami hits them in the head.
Right, if you do it in the air, the floorboard falls down. I forgot about that.
Yes, it's an unblockable setup. So if you get good enough with that, then that's so much pressure. Just in like 2 moves. It's stupid, but yeah. I feel like I don't know if Pink would like exert Baiken more or less because, but like, I feel like she has more options in exert somehow.
I noticed she had a lot more stuff of use with her claw mechanic.
Yeah, that and
Well,
also, the move where she runs forward. I think it's called Suzuran or something. No, that's the air move.
yes.
But yeah, the move
Yeah.
where she runs forward. So from that move in exert, you can actually do moves. You don't. It's not just an invincible dash. It's an invincible dash into another move that you can trigger.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a big thing that I use a lot. So that's why I dread missing it or whatever. And like I don't like not having it in XX. Like I understand why, mainly because it didn't exist. But
Right.
it was a good addition to Exert in my opinion. Exert Baiken.
Exard made some strong choices. Exard also made some strange choices. That was a Freudian slip. I guess
Robokai.
I miss Robokai as well.
At least he got to be a hero in the story.
Yeah.
He may be back in Strive with a new body.
What if he came back with a beefier body like Potemkin? It's like, I'm Robokai, but now I'm 10 times the size that I used to be.
No. If he gets a beefy body, he starts calling himself Robotemkin.
I would actually be delighted to see that. You two need to shut up.
Or I have a weird freaking tech character idea. So people will want Venom back, even though technically he's been written out of the story. People will want Venom back. So what if we get Venom back, but instead of Boss, he now uses Robokey's head?
I almost really like that idea.
I don't know how they could implement him summoning more than one, but
Right.
technically there are more than one
That would
Robokai.
not be strange.
Robokai is a robot, so maybe he's just mass produced now.
Well, no, they were mass produced by the time of XX. So
Oh, so there's already several of them out there.
maybe I'm not sure if they blew up or not. A lot of them died.
Oh, may they all rest in peace. Or rest in pieces. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever done Robokai's instant kill, but he just shoots a ramp out of his mouth, and an army of smaller Robokais come down the ramp and suicide bomb the opponent.
Yeah, I remember.
That's friggin' awesome.
The instant kills in this game actually aren't very impressive, which is weird to say.
Yeah.
Because in Ixard, they're all very elaborate cutscenes.
Yeah, they didn't really have the resources to do big elaborate cutscenes yet.
Yeah. The closest you get is Faust putting them on an operating table with a bomb under it.
Yeah. But I mean, Faust always got like the big flashy ones. Because remembering in the first one, it's like I think he just straight up kills the guy and then puts them in a grave or something. I forget.
What was I going to say?
Dizzy. You were talking about Dizzy.
Dizzy, yes. Dizzy's instant kill is also a very interesting one. It's not a very flashy one. It's actually kind of lame. But have you seen it, Addie?
Yes, I think it's the same one she has in. Well, it's not the same one, but it's basically the same idea as the one she has in Exerd.
No, it is not.
It isn't? Then I'm misremembering it, but I did see it, I think.
In Ixard, she has the one where her wing makes a nuke and she deliberately makes them miss,
Yeah,
and the opponent surrenders because they're just like, holy shit. In X2, her instant kill is she does Dragon Install.
Oh, right.
In case you weren't already aware that she's Soul's daughter.
Yeah.
As if anyone else would have got Justice pregnant. Or hell, I say that he got Justice pregnant, but in all likelihood, she probably got him pregnant.
Justice got herself pregnant.
She just arbitrarily decided, yes, I would like a child now.
Yeah.
Uh, do, do we care about spoilers too much? Strife spoilers. I
Nope.
don't think we do.
Yeah, I was about to say, between me and Pink, like, Pink doesn't really know what's going on in Guilty Gear lore, and I don't think he really cares. And like, I have an interest in like maybe XX era of lore, but Exard is just kind of going off the wall with like, oh, here's the fucking Illuminati, and it's like, okay, I'm lost.
The weird thing is though is that the Illuminati are the enemy in XX as well. Turns out. But yeah, so weird weird freaking story change, I guess, in Strive. I don't know what to freaking call it, but basically, we might have a confirmation as to why Sin has an eye patch. So what happened, or what seemingly happened, is Key had an eye transplant with Sin, and that's why Key now has gear powers.
Oh, that's the theory there. The theory I heard was just that Key inherited gear powers from having sex with Dizzy.
Yeah, that's the joke that Dizzy gave him gear STDs.
You had sex with the robot, now you become the robot, Kai.
Yeah. But
Strange how that works.
But from what they suggested in Japanese advertisements or whatever, in articles about the game, they seem to imply that like Kai's eye glowing red on the end of Exert is a big story thing, and that's basically the best we can go on, is that he switched eyes with Sin, and the eye that's under the freaking thing is Sin's gear eye.
Then why is Kai such a dick to his son if his son gave him his fucking eye?
I don't know.
You know, son, I know you gave me your eyeball out of the goodness of your heart, but I still ain't big on you. Kai's such a fucking dick.
I mean, he's also like 5.
No, he isn't.
I forget.
Sin is 5,
Oh,
but
yes.
Kai's like fucking 30 because he's a human.
Yeah, Kai's 35 or something.
He's a grown-ass man.
That makes his relationship with Dizzy worse.
Oh yeah, that's part of the thing. Unless they have like like Dizzy being somehow born intelligent, which Lord knows how gears work. How do gears work? Because like Sin's like so young, but he's got the intelligence of an adult.
No, actually, it's well, Sin's young and got the intelligence of like a 7-year-old, but he looks 17.
That's only because Soul's a shitty parent.
Yeah, maybe. I can see that being a thing.
Here, kid, here's a pretzel. Go entertain yourself for an hour. Man. Well, what's to say that Testament, who tried to wipe out the entire human race, much better parent to a gear than Soul was? Oh, Christ.
He is called bad guy.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of that Zangief quote from Wreck-It Ralph. Soul, you are not bad guy, you're just bad guy. Oh man, yeah, we could talk for a while about characters who went missing from X2 to Exard.
Bridget.
Yeah, Bridget, Zappa,
ABA.
Testament, Robo-Kai. Oh man, I feel like Testament was the one that like they're really missing out on a unique playstyle to have him be missing, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I guess trap characters, I guess, aren't that rare. So I guess you could consider like Bedman fairly similar, but
I mean,
Bedman's similar to Bridget.
No, Batman has his own weird version of set play.
But he's still got the kind of Bridget thing of set thing up and then try and like catch your opponent between the two things.
I don't know. It's different to me because Batman's thing triggers off of specials, and Bridget's thing works like Bridget works like Blaze Blue, just straight up. Like Bridget doesn't really have a heavy slash attack. He just has throw yo-yo. And that's a very Blaze Blue thing to have 3 actual attack buttons, and then also here's universal special character action.
Yes, having like Injustice. Here's a special move that just is one button,
Yeah,
but every other special move it has a regular input, like down forward.
yeah.
Right.
Bridget would fit into Blaze Blue. He would probably be the best character next to freaking Jubei, but still.
What character, Pink, I know your exposure to Exard's a little limited at this current point, but what character going forward from XX to Exard do you miss most?
Cliff! Old
Yeah.
man Cliff!
Oh man, that's a sad one because he really doesn't seem like he's going to come back.
I mean, we actually is starting to learn how to use his time powers, so we may get another time travel bit,
Heh.
which would be more Cliff in theory.
Yeah, I guess they could just use Axel time travel bullshit as the explanation there.
Yeah, I mean, in XX they used Eno time travel bullshit as the excuse for Order Soul and Cliff.
Time travel.
So we might as well just change one name and then use it again.
Yeah, why not?
They can do whatever they damn well please, I suppose.
Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if they because Axel is still trying to learn his powers from what I remember in the lore. So they could just make it a thing of Axel messed up. Cliff and Order Soul are in normal time now again. Or time, I guess, again.
Right.
And what was I going to say? Didn't you mention at one point that Izuwatari, Pink Izuwatari is the guy who's been the director and designer and a whole lot of things on most of the good Guilty Gears?
All right.
Didn't Izuwatari, Addy, say that he wants to wrap up the storyline with Strive, and then afterwards he'll start doing like dream match games, just like whatever, throw together everyone?
Well,
The Smash Ultimate of Guilty Gears.
Right. Everyone is here.
not freaking out words. Not necessarily with Strive, but he did say that he does have an endpoint in mind for the story, and that we are getting close to it. And once the story is done, we're gonna get more Guilty Gear games, but they are going to be dream matches. Yes.
Okay, so he that's an interesting thing about fighting games, how they exist outside the story, and that like the story can end, but it's like keep coming out with more games anyways because we want to play more of it.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting if that were applied to other video game genres, wouldn't it?
I mean, hey, I don't know what I was going to bring up as an example. I guess Ubisoft might have an easier time designing new assassin characters since we can just have Ezio everywhere. That would be a weird game mechanic, the Ezio everywhere system.
I was more like an Assassin's Creed All-Stars, but okay. Just like an array of missions, and just play. Here's Ezio. Go kill this guy who's hijacked a car in modern Paris, but you're Ezio.
Yes.
Sure.
I love it.
And then they do a Hitman crossover.
Even better.
As Hitman would not be able to fit in that at all because he can't fucking parkour for shit.
Yeah.
Agent 47 ain't the most athletic man in the world, bizarrely enough. All right. Favorite stage in Guilty Gear XX? Addy.
I like London, I think it is. I think it's Excel stage, but I forget. I sometimes mess up the freaking cities because in XX it seems like real world locations still exist somewhat, whereas by Exert's time it's just Illyria. So that also Hell. Hell needs to be talked about in every game because the Hell stages are always, not always, but usually good.
I'm personally very fond of the classic Paris stage, which I know is a lazy one to go with, but I don't know. I just like battling in the castle hall.
Uh-huh.
Pink?
I like London and May's ship.
Yeah, May's ship has got a lot of character to it.
There's a character in the back left of the background with a sign to cheer us on, and it's great. And more fighting games need that sort of mechanic.
And Pink, I'm not sure if you noticed, but the sign changes.
It does. It does. I've definitely noticed that, and there was one point where I was just reading out the sign as I was playing the game. Every time it changed.
Does it change if Johnny or May is there?
No, it changes depending on how good the matches go, or how well the match is going for one side.
Oh, huh, interesting.
Yeah, they kind of brought it back for Exert, but not really with the stage where people are standing out telling you to go away and fight somewhere else. But that's not really as dynamic. I think it might be back.
That's not positive encouragement for the battle at hand. What the heck?
I think it might be back in May's ship again in Strive though, because there was that girl with the sign that said closed beta version. So maybe.
Does
It'd
May
be
have
really
a ship stage in Exerd?
Yeah. May has 2 ship stages in Exerd.
Okay. I don't think I've played on them yet, but I did play with May herself, and she has like a lot more sea life in her repertoire this time, if I'm not mistaken. She can use seals now as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Like a
And she got a super where she summons an orca whale.
I love it.
That's always been a thing, I think.
Damn it.
No, that's... Wait, was it a thing in the first Guilty Gear? I forget. It might have been a...
You can definitely throw a whale at you in the second Guilty Gear.
Yeah. The, oh, I lost my train of thought. Damn it. Yeah, I thought with... No, let's just move on. All right. So, what character, if you could remove any character from the roster, Addy, would you remove anyone, and who would it be?
Can we count Bossino and EX Chip as separate entities?
Ha!
Because those two variants, I feel like, are too cheap for it to exist, really. And like it's not even a thing of like, okay, here's gold versions, they're just broken. It's literally just those two that have broken EX variants, from what I could tell.
I mean, I'm fine with like the boss character being broken, especially like now that I know that there is a way to counter the Midnight Carnival.
But then Chip,
Like, as long as
Chip can freaking cancel any special into any special at any point by doing Rekkas.
Yeah, but he's the EX variation. It would be more interesting if the EX variations were tournament viable, but in that case, I'd just say, like, nerf Chip. It's not that he's fucked, it's just that he needs to be nerfed.
I mean, I suppose so, but like the thing is, I'm comparing it to things like EX Soul, where EX Soul literally just becomes freaking Kai. And then, like, you know, there's a bit of a contrast between just becomes a rival character, takes up their playstyle, and can just do anything into anything at any time, more or less.
I don't know. I think the EX like variations as they were just a fun idea that they were just messing around with. And even then, at the time, they knew, yeah, these aren't going to be tournament viable unless people are doing bullshit EX tournaments. And Pink, the EX variations of every character changed them significantly.
I believe it.
I'm trying to remember what Faust got changed, but he actually changed the least, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. I don't remember which one was the weirdest. Go ahead.
The only thing I think I remember them changing for Faust was, you know, Faust's movie has in default the bam out of nowhere, where he does the big overhead chop very suddenly.
Yeah.
In his EX version, he doesn't have to spend meter to do that.
Okay.
So I guess EX Faust is just straight up better than regular Faust. I love the name of that move, because it pretty well just perfectly fits it, doesn't it?
I mean,
It always makes
from the name of it, I was expecting him to do an RKO.
yeah.
Imagine Faust just teleporting through a door midair, and then just a door comes out from under you. Faust comes out, Connor.
He RKOs you through the door into space.
Yes.
All right. Pink, if you could remove one character from the game, who would you remove and why?
That's a great question. I would remove Zappa because he freaks me out.
Ha! Zappa is always flatly the strongest character in every Guilty Gear game, so I guess there's that too.
Yeah, but I mean, at least he doesn't have the ghost anymore. Now it's Faust's.
I mean,
So,
in Strive, one of the plot developments is that Zappa's ghost has left him and possessed Faust, is what people think is happening. Which I don't think actually changed Faust's moveset at all. He's creepier now.
Yeah, that's
There you go.
basically it. I mean,
Which a lot of people found him creepy anyway, so.
From what I remember, the big changes with Faust is like I don't think he's supposed to be the most corrupted he can get yet. Like he's supposed to have less laps to be a psychopath a bit, which is why he's scarier, I guess. But he's still holding himself together somewhat. And if things don't change, then in the next game we'll get corrupted Faust with ghosts.
So you mean Dr. Baldhead?
Yes, Dr. Baldhead with ghosts.
Yeah, Pink, you weren't there for it, but in Guilty Gear 1, Faust was a serial killer by the name of Dr. Baldhead.
Was he
But
bald?
yeah.
Okay. Seems that.
In the next game, he's like, oh shit, I don't want to be a bad person. I want to be a good person. But now everybody knows I'm a serial killer. So I'm going to put a paper bag over my head. No one will know it's me. And I will travel the world saving lives. And that's how he becomes Faust.
My goodness, it's genius.
It's a big quest for redemption, and his only disguise is a paper bag over his head. Otherwise, he looks the exact same.
And the best part is, like even though they acknowledge in the games that he's Dr. Baldhead multiple times, Orcsys doesn't officially acknowledge that Faust is Dr. Baldhead. They treat him as a separate character.
Okay,
Keep the kayfabe.
I don't know how long you guys intend to keep recording. I need to take a break right now, or I'm going to shit my pants live on recording. Give me a. I'm gonna step out for a little bit. If you guys are still recording when I come back, I'll join back in. But oh boy!
All right. So, well, where were we?
We were talking about Faust and how he used to be bald, but now he's got a paper bag, so he's not technically bald anymore, but he might be.
I think he's still bald, at least because of XX, because he has a round start animation where he removes the bag to show that he's bald head, but you don't actually see his face. Yeah. So let's see. What do we usually go through? Because I forget.
We've gone over our favorite characters, favorite stages, and characters we would take out if we could. Is there anything else to discuss about Guilty Gear XX, A Core, Plus, R, Q, Y?
Hyper fighting the new challengers. But yeah, that's gonna be the PS5 re-release. Well, let's see. You have been to arcade and you have been to just CPU match. But have you played?
Yes.
Have you been to any of the other modes?
I've not done story. I have not done mission. I didn't even know there was mission. I probably saw story and mission and just conflated the two in my brain and didn't realize they were different things.
I spent a good bit of time in not all of them, but most of the single player modes. So, there's mom mode. I have no clue what it does in this game because the exit one is quite a lot different, and it's not well explained in this one. So,
right.
Mom mode is basically an endurance thing where you go through people uh, and try to build up a meter on the bottom of the screen, which you build up by doing a lot of attacks, and you get emblems for that. The emblems give you score, and if your health goes down, then you get health pickups. And that's basically all I could figure out about this game's version of mom mode.
Yeah.
Because in Xrd, it's an RPG game mode. So
What?
yeah, in Xrd, it's a thing of you choose your opponent from the character select screen, and then you can level up your stats and shit to have more health or hit harder.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is a game mode. It's fun for a bit, and then you realize the grind.
Yeah, grinds are never fun.
But yeah, that survival is actually what mob mode will become in Xrd, from my experience. Well, more like it anyway. So survival in this game, which doesn't exist in Xrd, by the way. Survival is a game mode where you go through people, beating them in one round. Your health goes up between each win, and then every like 20 or so levels, you face a shadow opponent, which uses a shadow variant of the character. Now the twist here is that levels aren't rounds. You don't need to beat 20 people to reach the first shadow opponent. You need to beat like 3 really good, because counters and like special attacks and stuff like that. If you play good, then you build more level, and so
I see.
you can get faster to the shadow opponents. So I think that's an interesting take on doing a survival type of game mode, because survival is usually boring, and I mean
Right.
this one gets boring after a while as well. But there's only so much they can do. So
Yeah. It's just not quite just a flat out endurance test now.
yeah, and also between like whenever you beat a shadow opponent, you get to level up one of your stats, and they roll a random thing where you can choose, or they roll a random list of things that you can upgrade for yourself, or at least it seemed that random to me.
I see.
And that's actually one of the ways that you can unlock the shadow and gold variants if you beat them in that mode. So hey, it's a thing.
Ah, nifty.
And let's see what else is there. Story mode is story mode. It has multiple paths. It has branching paths, all voice acted, and there's some interesting animations in it, because sometimes matchups that you otherwise wouldn't get, like special rounding shows, do get them because the story needed them to happen.
Right.
And I think that's actually all of the modes. There's also team battle, which is basically just KOF. And what I
Right.
mean by that is, because I don't know if you remember how KOF worked in team battles. I don't think we ever did them in team battles, but how team battles work in both XX and in KOF is you choose 3 characters, and then you do one-on-ones until someone's team is depleted.
Right. Yeah. I think Soul Calibur 2 had something. I think it had that exact same system. But don't quote me on that because I don't know for certain.
I don't remember either. I know that Tekken had it for a while, like up all the way until 7, and then 7 doesn't have it now. But yeah, hmm. Is there anything in particular that we could talk about still? Uh,
Uh,
hmm.
Anything. Nothing comes to mind. I think we covered all the bases. We covered. Yeah.
I do have I could ask a couple of questions, because and we didn't really disclose this, I guess. But you this Guilty Gear XS is your XX is your first Guilty Gear game, so
Correct.
we could
Yeah.
delve into that a bit.
All right.
So being a newbie or whatever, I don't know what terms to use, but just starting out in Guilty Gear just now.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's a good descriptor to say that Guilty Gear is one of the hardest fighting games ever?
Yes and no. It's easy to pick up. It plays very similar to like any other fighting game I've played, but there are definitely mechanics in the game that feel completely foreign, even with my albeit limited knowledge of other fighting games. So it's probably a for any newcomer, it'd probably be easy to pick up and play, but definitely one of the fighting game genres that are probably much harder to master than your typical Street Fighters or whatnot.
Yeah, so you would say it has a low skill floor and a high skill ceiling, which is good
Yeah,
in my
there's
opinion.
got to be a big curve there, which probably wouldn't be present in other fighting games.
I mean, there's a
Big
big
learning curve.
yeah, there's a big curve just around the amount of defensive and offensive options you have because for offensive you have everything that you would usually have in a fighting game. Also, attacks out of air dash and just air attacks in general. Also dust and also roaming
Right.
cancels. Have you figured out how to do roaming cancels yet, Pink?
You taught me once, and I've never used it since. So I'm gonna say no, just because I don't
I
remember
don't,
how.
I don't blame you because I don't use roaming cancels in this game either. In Exert, they're a lot more convenient to do because in Exert, when you do a roaming cancel, it slows down time, so you can actually have like half a second to figure out what you want to do.
Right. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, and in this game, it's just immediate. And like the thing for me is that usually when I roaming cancel now, I know what I want to do, but the slowdown and the screen going a bit darker lets me know that okay, I did the roaming cancel right. Now I can actually input the move. And in this game, there's no such thing.
Right.
There's a red flash, but by the time that the flash goes away enough from the character for me to notice it, usually there like things already went down, and I just wasted the
Right.
roaming
The window
cancel.
of opportunity is gone now.
Yeah, which is a me problem and not really the games, but still. It's just a
Right.
matter of preference, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's
The
also
the new
yeah,
system sounds much easier to get a handle on, whereas this current one, it's like you probably have to know exactly what you're wanting to do and inputting that basically the exact same time you're doing the Roman cancel.
yeah. It seems like that to me as well. And they're making Roman cancels even more useful in Strive, by the way, because Strive is adding dash cancels, or not dash cancels because that's a different thing, but like dashing roaming cancels, which is a thing where if you do a roaming cancel, it slows down time, and then if you press dash forward or well, basically in any direction, really, from what I remember, if you dash in any direction while in the slowed down time, then the roaming cancel puts you there while you do the cancel.
Oh,
So that's a way to do follow up some combos and shit in Strive, which will be
I
interesting.
hate to
Yep.
interrupt you guys, but I do want to go ahead and say I'm not going to be able to make it for the rest of this because this is pretty severe.
All right.
no problem. We're probably gonna wrap up real quick.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys. See you guys. At least on Saturday.
Yeah.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
So yeah, that and then we all for the defensive options we have shit like freaking dead angle, which have you figured out dead angle attacks, Pink?
What is that?
So dead angle attacks are for a defensive option that you freaking spend like I don't know 30% of your meter on or something like that. I don't remember. Where if you press if you block a move and then press forward and two punches, then you do a counter attack while the enemy is still in their attack animation.
Oh, that's new to me.
Yeah, it was new to me as well. I've heard people talk about him, but I wasn't able to figure out how they actually work, and I think they got removed after this game,
Oh,
which would explain why. I didn't really figure out how to do them, but yeah. So that could be useful against Eno if Eno's giving you a lot of trouble as outside of Midnight Carnival as well.
right.
Midnight Carnival, yeah, that's a different thing.
That doesn't sound so good.
But I'm sure Eno would like to do it
Oh yeah,
still.
I wouldn't put it past her.
I mean, Eno's move where she makes the sword appear from out of the ground.
Yes.
Yeah, that's called stroking the big tree.
Of course it is.
So yeah. Anyway. I forgot what else I was going to ask you about. Because there's a lot of interesting things to ask newcomers to series and just the genre overall to provide a freaking not a concept, a freaking point of view, a new point of view, or potential new point of
Right.
view on the whole trying to make fighting games easier argument that's going on right now. Just in general. But yeah.
Right.
I think we can call it a podcast then.
All right. Sounds good.
And with that, fighting games were